Uh, Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending this seminar, and thank you, team of Sustainable Care Program, especially Professor Suyandal and Kaylee and Ben and the others. Uh, the seminar part of my research started before the pandemic and will finish this year. The seminar topic is sustainability of adult care at home in Turkey. First, I would like to say that there has been a significant change in the population in the world, of course, in Turkey as well. The change's name is demographic change. I will talk about it firstly. The population in Turkey is increasingly aging. The changing demographic structure means caring for older people is also changing. Changing informal care more affected than formal care. In Turkey's main informal care providers are families who will be insufficient in the following decides because of the increasing number of the older people. There is a need for studies to meet the basic needs of the aging population in Turkey. Uh, this my sound is good or not? I will start. You know.
Yes,
Your sound
perfect,
is
Hamza.
fine, Hamza.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've now got the second slide, so that's good.
That's fine. This is second slide. Yeah, maybe I will talk about the context in my seminar. In this seminar, I will discuss possible challenges and solutions to post 2020 adult care in Turkey, using example from home care in England. First, I will talk about demographic change in Turkey, and I will show you some graphs. One of them is fertility rate, and one of them is population age group rates. Secondly, I will talk about the social and economic outlook of the older people in Turkey. This context, my seminar, second context, I will talk about the social, social and economic outlook of the older people in Turkey. The other context in my seminar, I will talk about the solution of sustainability of adult care at home by families. uh, First solution is the improvement of migrant care cases in Turkey. I will talk about my finding in small qualitative research in the Istanbul. The other context in the seminar, the other case study, I will talk about the other case study, good example from the UK. First case study held in Istanbul, second case study held in the UK. First case study uh, between January and March 2020, before pandemic. The second case study starts November 2021. And then continue this case study. Uh, uh, as a introduction, I would like to say to you the population in Turkey is getting older. Turkey has to face the reality of population aging very quickly. On the other hand, families meet a vital part of adult care needs at home in Turkey. However, when the care process of the elderly in need of care is long term, it tires the caregiver's family, financials, and morally it tires. As a result, the family members who provide long-term care at home reduced like reduced the likelihood of older people receiving quality care. The studies propose some advice. based on the example of England, to support families who support adults at home. And I will talk about the demographic change in Turkey firstly, before I will start to my case studies. Demographic change in Turkey, the demographic transformation started to decide 2 centuries ago in the European continent. The demographic transformation started in the late 1940s in the Turkey, maybe 1 century ago. Population aging is not the same in every society. Turkey, right, is much faster than the developed European countries. The fertility rate in Turkey has also dropped from 7 children per woman in the 1920s to less than today. The other statistic to give us some information about the demographic change in Turkey. In the last 5 years, just 5 years, the ratio of population age 65 and over to the total population has increased by 22.5% from 8.2% to 9.5%. The population has been aging faster in recent years. It is calculated to double and reach over 20% in the next 20 years. I will show you 2 graphs that prove the demographic change in Turkey. One is the fertility rate, and second is a ratio of the age group. Fertility rate in Turkey, this graph show us after 1980s, the birth rate per woman decreased rapidly in Turkey. The number of babies per woman 6.4 in 1916 fell below 2.1 in 2010. This rate is the lower limit accepted for the population to renew itself. Very important statistic to demographic change, show us demographic change in Turkey. In countries such as United States, Canada, Germany, England, and France, the population fell below the lower threshold for population renewal in the early 1970s, and in Turkey in 2010. This rate, fertility rate, nowadays is 1.8 in France, 1.7 in the US, and 1.6 in the UK. This rate recorded as 1.7 in 2020 in Turkey. This is very same fertility rate show us this is demographic transformation. There is demographic transformation in Turkey. The other graphs, let me show you the ratio of age group in Turkey population. This population, the graph shows us ratio of 65 plus was 9.5% in 2020, and this ratio will be over 20% in 2050 after 30 years, and almost 1/3 in 2060. rate of population is faster in developing countries than in developed countries. The aging period, which is almost 100 years in Europe, will be complete in a short period of approximately 25 years in developing country. For example, in 115 years in France, in 85 years in Sweden, the rate of the elderly population increased from 7% to 14%. It is calculated that this process calculated that Turkey will reach this rate from 7% to 14% just 27 years. I will talk about the social and economic outlook of older people in Turkey. Some of those people live alone, and older people's poverty is beginning more visible nowadays. With the individualization in Turkey, the support mechanisms of the older people have been deeply affected. Older people have difficulty finding a place in the sharing family and are forced to live alone. One study conducted in Turkey determined that just 16% of elderly live alone in their household. The other study determined throughout Turkey determined that 1/5 of the older people in Istanbul live alone. The other social and economic outlook of older people is poverty. With the aging of the population, older people's poverty is becoming more visible. According to the family structure research in Turkey, the rate of those who see below the middle socioeconomic level is about 3/4. This is the second socio-economic outlook of elder people. The other social and economic outlook of older people is based on chronic disease, increase in old age, and they affect adult care. In Turkey, the public institution carries a significant portion of elderly care. However, maybe in the future, family members may be inadequate in the care of the elderly. This is a big challenge of the sustainability of care at home. For that, the local government and some NGO have to support families. There is a need for professional support in this regard, and local governments should take more responsibility for service for the elderly. I will talk about my case study, first case study that was migrant care in Istanbul. The study examined migrant caregivers employed informally in long-term elderly care at home. In the study, the daily life practice of migrant caregivers and their relationship with the elderly. The study aimed to determine the position of the migrant caregivers model, which is involved in solving the older people's care needs in Turkey within the traditional and modern care model. The case studies design was used in the research, one of the qualitative research methods. In the study in Istanbul before the pandemic, interviews were conducted with a group of migrant caregivers from Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, accompanied by a semi-structured interview from all participants aged between 27 and 47. All participants were women. In the studies, the data obtained from the interviews were evaluated with categorical content analysis. As a result of this research, it has been determined that a solid emotional bond developed between immigrant caregivers and the elderly they care for. This is show us look like a traditional care model. At the same time, it has been seen that the main motivation of the migrant caregivers in doing this job is economic reasons. This is also show us modern care model. Being able to set a fixed part of the salary difference income between the target and source countries to their countries motivated them. And the other finding, participants who care for the elderly were asked about their purpose for coming to Turkey. All of the participants stated that they were here for economic reasons. It can be noted that they see the elderly care work as an opportunity to save money. For example, one participant said that we foreigners have the same purpose. It is to earn money, to establish order after returning, to buy a house and to buy a new car and then get in order. Unemployment and poor job opportunity in the home countries of caregivers who come for the purpose of work, force them to work in Turkey. There is the other participants said that there is a little job opportunity in our country. There is little job opportunity in our country. That is why we come Turkey. We do whatever it takes. We don't have many options, either maintenance or workshop worker. She said that I wouldn't change this job to workshop industry labor. Participants' views on elderly care routines were consulted. Participants state that they live a large part of their day with a plan. When I wake up in the morning, she said that when I wake up in the morning, we chat about how you sleep, then breakfast and cleaning the house, and then I make the old man exercise. Sometimes I take it outside and take a walk. I do daily maintenance. I do health care, such as applying cream and giving medicine. Yeah, I will talk about my research in the UK. It is part of my research. This is for sustainability of adult care in the UK. I think we need to transfer good example from developed country like UK, England, to support our care application in Turkey. Firstly, digital technology on care is very important, and we need to adapt to this technology, I discussed how the continuous of care, technological development, and digitalization can inform the development of high quality, socially and economically sustainable home care model for all the people in Turkey. It necessitates or a digital transformation in the health field to overcome the social and health problems that develop due to the increased elderly population in Turkey. Digital transformation in health provides the opportunity to alleviate the increasing chronic disease, health expenditures, and care burden. This development in digital technology have led to development in the field of health and care. In Turkey, it is essential to keep up with the development in the field of digital health and care technology as soon as possible. The population is aging rapidly in Turkey. The issue of elderly care will become more and more difficult. Now it is necessary to look at the general maintenance support service, such as a robotic application and telesport and their potential. We need to look this opportunity. And the reflections of digitalization on social life are inevitable. This research focuses on the reflection of digital technologies in health and care. Digital development create opportunity to tackle health and care challenge in an increasing aging population. The main dynamics are the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing, instant communication, and the confidence and the comfort is create are important and make it easier to receive care. The other good practice to be sustainable of adult care, to be more active older people. A number of policy recommendations are being developed in order to cope with social and economic difficulties, such as the burden of care caused by the aging of the population in Turkey. Among them, active old age come first. According to Active Aging Index 2016, the countries with the highest rate are Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, and England, respectively, while Poland, Hungary, and Greece are in the last place. The Turkey's index score also calculated within the scope of the pilot's application. It has been determined that is shared the same score and last place with Greece. Participating more in volunteer activities during retirement may increase being active. This is one solution to sustainable care. As a result, in my study, when older people's care process in the long term, the caregiving family member is challenged financially and morally. The strain on the caregiver providing can reduce the likelihood of all the people receive quality care. In Turkey, non-formal migrant carriers working condition in elderly care should be regular as soon as possible. In this sense, policies regarding home care for the elderly in unregistered elderly care should be established urgently. And the other topic, digital transformation should quickly be adopted in Turkey, and then environments should be created where the elderly can participate voluntarily. This is my presentation, and thank you for listening, and thank you, team of Sustainable Care, and thank you so much.